All right, good afternoon. Can anybody hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Awesome. Um, I'm actually very excited being part of this session. Right, my name is Williams Idorenyin. I'm actually a software engineer at iCentry Technologies, and also a co-founder at iCentry. So, I'm just going to dive in. I was informed I have very limited amount of time, so I'm just going to dive in and hit the nail on the head. It's going to be a practical session, right? So just to prepare our minds towards what we're looking at for this session, we're going to have to interact with GitHub, right? We're going to have to interact with GitHub. We're going to have to interact with VS Code and also your browser. So just to prepare our minds about this. So I'll just do a quick run about introducing myself and what we do at iCentry before I dive into the topic of the day. Okay. And at the end of the session, we'll take questions. All right. So like I said earlier, my name is William Idorenyin. I'm actually a software engineer at iCentry, and I'm also the co-founder at iCentry. At iCentry, what we do is that we actually build and facilitate digital products for businesses and for individuals. And at the same time, we also foster tech talents. Yeah. So we have 3 months to 4 months internship where we stretched out on having a mentor-led sessions for interns on different tech stacks. So you're coming in as a front-end engineer, as a back-end engineer, as a product designer, a product manager. We have just the right set of leaders to take you through this stage. And then we give you access to live projects where you can hone your skills and also update your portfolio as required in the industry, right? We are just about launching our new session for interns, which is actually taking place for next month. So I will implore you, if you're available, give us a shout. We'll review your experience and see if you're fit to join us.
Okay, we are good.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yes. But we can't see you.
Okay, how about now?
Yeah, you are good.
Perfect, okay. All right, so what we're talking on empowering creativity with AI, and we'll be focusing on Teachable Machine. I don't know if any of us have actually come across Teachable Machine. Is actually an application that was actually developed by Google, right? I don't know, I can see a few people. Can we raise hands if we've come across Teachable Machine? All right, awesome, perfect. Great stuff. So it's not new. I'll just going to introduce Teachable Machine, right? So Teachable Machine was actually introduced in 2019 by a research team in Google. If we've actually been very privileged to actually skim the internet a whole lot, you find out that Google has actually a website that is meant for research. And you have research for as far back as 2016, still locked down in your archive. So Teachable Machine is actually one of those research that Google launched in 2019, November precisely. They had a first version that came through, but the version we're working on right now for this is this version 2.0. It's actually an enhanced version. It actually supports for audio models, it supports for image models, and also for posts, right? So what is Teachable Machine for those of us who have actually not heard of it? It says it's a web-based tool by Google that enables users to create machine learning models without any coding, right? So at this point, you're able to create models without having, probably maybe not without being able to use Python or not even being able to use TensorFlow.js, all right? So we'll dive into that in a second. What we're going to be doing in this video is that we're going to demo how to create these models with, we're going to demo how to create these models with Teachable Machine. We're also going to demo how to train these models after we've collected them, and also how we can export these models and use it in our application, be it a web application, a mobile application, or maybe your devices. All right. So you can access the link, Teachable Machine, by scanning the QR code or typing in the link I have on the screen here. So I'll wait for us to access the link. And once we access the link, I will proceed to the next slide. Are we good to go? Can we proceed? All right, perfect. So like I mentioned earlier, the core feature of Teachable Machine comes with the ability for you to be able to collect models, image models we talked about, ability for you to be able to collect sound models, all right, and poses and postures, right? But for the sake of this particular session, we'll be looking at the model alone. We'll focus on collecting just image models. We're going to also go on a spree of training these devices, all right? And then we would export these models, right? I have a code stashed away, a code base stashed away on GitHub. I'll give you access to the repository. You can drop a star on the repository and also clone the code into your IDE, so we can run it locally on your computer and then see what the models we created in action. All right. Okay, so I mentioned the integrations where this can actually be used. So we talked about it being used in a web application, right? For those of us that are actually conversant with web app as front-end engineers, you can actually create your simple front-end engineer with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and then bring in these models and use it in your web app. We could also use it on Android applications for those of us that do Flutter, and also for physical computing devices, right? We could also use these models there. So I think I mentioned the session we're going to be doing. We'll create the models, would label them, would train them. We'll also look at exporting them and also testing that they work perfectly. All right, so this is the link to the GitHub repository you're going to be taking the models from. So you can also scan here to get access to the link. So you let me know when you're done so we can actually proceed. Are we good to go?
Yes.
All right, perfect. So I'll dive into things now. All right, so let's first of all go to Teachable Machine. I'll just try also and grab the link on my computer. Let's go to Teachable Machine and see if you're on this screen on Teachable Machine, you can tell me yes so I can proceed. Are we here? All right, so if you're on this home screen, I want you to hit get started so we can proceed. Can I go ahead?
Yeah.
Awesome. So I mean, we have an array of options they have here. That's for image, for audio projects, and for post projects, right? You can test the audio and the post out maybe when you get back, but it's going to be the same procedure. To click on the image, you can click on the image on your screen so that we go over to the models. So we have image. It asks if it's a standard image or is an embedded image. All right, we're going to go for standard image model. And then if you click on standard image model, you have access to the workspace provided by Google for us to be able to carry out the model collection. You can see a couple of nodes connections connecting different classes to the training spots and also to the preview spots. What we'll do first is that we're going to first of all name our classes based on the models we have available, right? So we're going to name our classes based on the models we have available. For the sake of this demo, I have just 3 models to work with. When we go back, we can actually test it out with different models and also try out different things with it. So my first model is going to be myself. I'm going to just call it human, right? And the second model I'm going to be using is going to be book, all right? And I have a next model, which is going to be a tablet. Awesome. So after classing your models, you give them, after giving them names, we'll call them classing, as in giving them tags and names that you're supposed to reference them with. You can now go ahead to add images and samples to your models, right? By clicking on webcam. It will actually request access to your camera, and I'm sure you'd see your fine faces. Am I good to go? Are we all on the same page? Am I good to go?
Yes.
All right, perfect. So the next thing we're going to do is to hold the record button. You just have to hold it down and collect the models. And while you're collecting the models, you have to be moving your face to different directions so that you can actually capture different versions of you, right? Different angles of your model, so that in case you're presenting the model in a different dimension, it will be able to still tell you, okay, fine, this is what it is. So I'm going to hold on record and collect models of myself. You can see it's counting already. You have to collect enough models as possible. I will get 100 for myself. All right, 101, that's safe. Then we'll move over to the next class, which is the book class. And then I'm going to just put up a book. You can see I have a book here. So I'll put this up and collect models for the book too. I will try and make 100 too. Right. So my next model is going to be a tablet, which we have here. So you go back to the tablet session, you hold it up, pretty nice and easy, and collect the model too for the tablet. Let's be sure we collect the exact same numbers we got for the rest of the other models, so we stay safe. All right, perfectly, very close. So we have 103 for tablets, we have 102 for email for the books, and then 101 for human. All right, so if we've collected these samples, the next thing we're going to do is to go ahead to train the model. So you see the train model button, you hit train model, and then this goes ahead to actually start training your model. So far, we've not written any line of code, but we've been able to collect samples that we want to use in our application. So yeah, you go ahead and train the model. And you can see it says don't switch tabs, and the training will start in a second. So perfect, our models are all trained out. There are actually some other advanced filters we can actually use here, but this is not actually useful for now. And I think what we just have is actually okay. So we've gotten our model, and we'll go ahead to preview what we have. So you can see the confidence level says 100% for human, right? You can see where it says 100% for human. If I bring back the book, you see it has 100% for book. So it's very sure it's a book. I take the book away, it's very sure it's human right here. And if I bring back the tablets, you can see it gives me 100% for tablets, meaning it's very sure this is a tablet and not a book. If I try to be very smart and say book, it goes to book, tablets, it goes to tablet, and human, it comes back to human, which makes a lot of sense. So our model is actually very great. You can go ahead to add different models for different things, depending on your use case, right? The first time I had this session with some students, they asked me, where is this useful? How can we use this in real life applications, right? In which area can we actually bring this into use? I'm going to discuss that with us maybe towards the end, but I mean, I know you can already guess where this can actually be useful, right? So now that we've gotten our model, we've actually previewed it, we've tested it, everything works fine. The next thing we need to do is to export our model, right? So that's the next set of things we need to do. We need to export our model for use. So before I go ahead to export, I will just try and navigate to GitHub where I have the repository that I want to use for this particular session, just to keep it open for us to come back to. So I come back to the screen, I've opened the repository, back to export models. All right, so when you hit on export, you have a pop-up that comes over your screen, and then you can see we have the code base for JavaScript already curated for you, and we have that of p5.js already made available for you. What do I want to do with this model? Do I want to download it into my local device, or do I actually want to get a shareable link where I can actually use to preview what I worked on? So I actually want a link. I don't want to download it, right? So I hit upload my model, and my model is actually uploading right now, as you can see. All right, perfectly. My module has actually been uploaded to the cloud. I can now copy the link for my module right here. I now have to go to my GitHub. I don't know if you've actually come here. If you're here, perfect. So you just have to hit a star. I can see two people have dropped stars already. Just keep hitting stars once you get into the GitHub. It gives the developer credibility. I left a couple of README just to guide us in case you want to go back and try this out by yourself. I left a README information here on the repo where you can actually just go through. It takes us through the whole process of cloning the repository and running the application. So on your own computer, you can hit on where you have code here. You can hit on the drop-down arrow we have here, and then you will see the repository link here. All right. Copy the repository link and go back to your terminal. Right. If you're using a Windows, hit your terminal. If you're using a Mac, go back to your terminal and do the usual command we do for cloning a repository. Right. Right, so awesome. So I have my terminal active. Once you get your active terminal, what you need to do, the next thing you need to do is just to, let's see, I need to bring mine over to this screen. Let's see, new window. All right, let's see how to do this outside of the next tab. Okay. So you have to just pull up your terminal. So I'm just going to use Cursor. That's the ID I use for now. And I hope you're all familiar with Cursor. So I'm going to use Cursor to run mine. I'll bring it up full screen. Open a project with Cursor. If you don't want to open a project, you can go ahead and just click on Clone Repository. I hope it's just going to be the same process for those of us using VS Code. Okay, so Cursor asked me to actually throw in my repository link here for a quick clone, which makes it very easy for us. But I'm just going to try and use the terminal for those of us that wants to use our terminal there. So if you come here to your terminal, you can see this is actually my shell right now. I just have to hit the command git clone and then paste the link I copied, right? Paste the link I copied. I don't know if you're actually following along. So the next thing I did was just paste the link I copied and then hit enter. All right, so I have to just create a repository. I have to create a folder first on my computer, CD into the folder. All right.
Okay, please take it easy. Take it easy, please.
Oh, okay. Okay. Can you see the Cursor IDE? Sorry, I'm trying to beat the time, right? Can you see the IDE? Can you see the VS the development environment for Cursor?
Yes.
All right, perfect. Okay. Can I proceed now?
Yes.
All right, so the steps are actually documented on the README file. You can actually review that for the steps. But what I did first here was that I actually created a folder on my computer, right, called a test folder. Okay, created a folder called test. And in the test folder, I want to clone the repository into the test folder. So I'm just going to do git clone and then paste the URL I copied from GitHub. All right, so you see it's cloning it into my device right now. So I have it already cloned, done. Okay, so I can do ls just to check what is inside of the folder. I can see I have Teachable Machine demo as a folder in my file right now. Okay, so I have to just cd into Teachable Machine. All right, get into the folder. Are we there? Sorry, I have to still come back here to be sure we are all following along. I hope nobody's getting left behind. Are we still on point? Do we have this? We're able to clone the repository. Are we able to CD into Teachable Machine UI demo?
Yeah, it's
Can we proceed?
Yes.
All right, perfect. So if you've gotten access to this, you can just do code dots in your, if you're using an external terminal, you can actually just do code dots. I think it should open up your VS Code, your IDE, or you can of course just open the folder with your IDE. Once you open the folder with your IDE, I'm sure you're going to get into something that looks more like this. Right, so we're going to see a couple of files, the config.js, index.html, readme.md, script.js, and style.css. Guys, are we still on track? Have you been able to open it on your VS Code? Can you confirm?
We are still trying.
Awesome, awesome. You can share with me whatever challenges you're having so I can actually help unblock and then we can move forward faster.
Okay.
So the steps are also on the README. You can see we have git clone and then the URL. And then you can see that you have to CD into the Teachable Machine folder to be able to open it up.
Yes.
Are we good to go?
Not here. Hold on.
Okay, no problem.
Any question? Any question? What's up?
Are we good? We still need more time.
Continue. Wow, okay, sir.
All right, perfect. Great stuff. So we have, I'm sure we have our ID now looking like what mine is looking like, okay? Can you confirm you can see the scripts.js? Can we confirm we have access to the scripts.js?
I see.
All right, perfect. So let's go back to Teachable Machine. All right, let's go back to Teachable Machine where we can copy the link we exported, right? So we have to go back to Teachable Machine where you have the link. You can see where we have your shareable link, right? So you have to copy this link right here. All right. This gives you access to the models you created on the cloud. So you copy this link and go back to your IDE. So on line 6 ID, you can see where I have model URL. I want you to replace what you have here. I want you to replace the model URL with the link you copied from Teachable Machine. And when you're done, you can let me know so we can proceed. Once you say good to go, I'll proceed.
Yeah, not done.
How are we looking?
Yes,
How are we looking? Are we good to go?
Yes, sir. I'm good to go.
Awesome. So I'm sure you have access to the index.html. You can navigate to the index.html file. you'll see some well-organized code. I try to actually drop a label for those of us that might want to come and play around with the code later on. I label them with comments to be sure where everything is. So if you don't have live server, you can actually maybe just open your extension box and install it. But if you do, you can just click an option here and go to open with live server, right? When you hit open with live server, it should actually open up what I was actually able to put together, a small UI I just did together with HTML and CSS, just to give you an access to a supposed platform you want to use the models you created in, right? So see the code base, like maybe the app you built that you want to integrate the models you created into. All right, so this is actually mine. Once you've been able to open the live server, it should actually prompt for your camera access. All right, so I'm just going to allow for this time. Right, if yours is it's working fine, you see that camera access granted, ready to start. Okay, so I'll hit on start camera here, and once I hit on start camera, it will actually open up my camera for me to start testing the model. Okay, so yes, perfect. You can see my camera is up, and you can see the first thing it tells me that is that human, 100% confidence is human, which is the same model we trained earlier, right? It's the same model we trained earlier, so it's very sure this is human, 100%, right? If I bring in the tablets, and tell you which is this, I'm sure it's going to tell us this is a tablet, 100%, right? This is a tablet, 100%. It's very sure it's a tablet, 100%. If I bring back the book, it's very sure it's a book, right? It's very sure this is a book, 100%. Now, this is actually based off of the models you created. We can actually put a check while creating a model for an unknown entity, right? We can actually put this.
Okay, can you show us something else? Let us see whether the model actually simulates.
Awesome, perfect. Right. So that was what I was just what I was going to just talk about. So I'm going to stop some of my cameras so they don't just blow everywhere, make us slow. So that is what we are supposed to do now. When you're creating your model initially with Teachable Machine, you also have to create a model for an unknown, right? You need to add a model for an unknown entity, meaning it's not in the model you created. All right, let me bring a case scenario. So imagine a security company coming to install a security system in the facility you're in right now. And everybody had to log in their credentials, gave them their names, their pictures to be able to have access to the events, right? So they mount the Teachable Machine demo, or probably maybe the app you built, in the front door. So once you come in, you have to scan for your face, right? So if your model was not taken, that means you're not invited. And then when you come to the door, it scans you, tells you your name, and then you get inside and opens the door for you. If it comes and then you're unknown. So since we have to create a separate model for an unknown, once it's an unknown face and it's not part of the models we created, it actually denies the person entry, which is actually one of the use case of these image models we are creating, right? Another special case is that it actually could be used in the healthcare facility, where people give people maybe medications are actually administered based on the patients. And instead of you maybe going to write names or maybe going to or probably maybe asking the patients their name and stuff, can actually come in with a device that can actually take capture of their faces and then tell you the medication means for them based on the models you actually populated into the machine. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Does it make sense? Perfect.
Yes.
The brief about Teachable Machine. I'm just going to go and complete my slides and just explain a couple of other use cases too that I actually prepared for us. So one of the use cases I actually prepared was okay, let me see. Oh, not that. Yeah, one of the other use case I think I have is actually in retail industry. Yeah. So in retail, you can actually do say enhancing customers' experience through visual search. All right, allowing users to find products by uploading images. So you can actually curate the platform with images of products, and then that could actually maybe tell you how to go about things. I've actually been nudged that my time is actually up. I should round up. Okay. So yeah, so like I mentioned earlier, we're actually from iCentric Technologies. You can actually follow us on X on iCentric Tech. You can look for us on LinkedIn on iCentric-Technologies to be maybe to follow up with our services. We try to do some. We try to put out some learning materials on LinkedIn to informing people about what is happening in the tech space and also how to navigate the tech space, especially for newbies. You can have access to our website by accessing icentrictechnologies.com, and then you'll see a link to speak to us in case you have interest in our internship program or you want to collaborate with us on any projects we're working on. So thank you. If you have questions, you can shoot questions quickly before the team knock me off.
Any questions?
Somebody asked question.
Okay, one question.
All right, shoot.
Okay, sir. So this can you recap on how you integrated the model from the TM to the VS Code?
Perfect. I can do that quickly for you. All right. So what I mentioned earlier that once you've created your model, you have to first of all go and copy the link. All right. After you've tested your models, everything works fine. You need to upload because when you're collecting your model, everything is actually on the cloud. Right, everything's actually on your device. First of all, it's not on the cloud yet. But you have to now be the one to use the button they provide to upload the model to the cloud, and then they will provide you with a link. All right, that link is what we use. So for the files I provided, if you can go to my script.js, you see I have model URL here, where I passed in the model URL. It might take us a lot of time, but here you can look at the code base in JavaScript. I dropped some comments to be able to guide us once we go through the code base. But I have the model here, the URL, and I'm able to feed it into my update status function. You can see I have model URL also here again. I pass it into the TM Teachable Machine image model here function here, which is able to give me the model I'm able to display to you guys. If you have some more questions, just so we don't take time, I would appreciate you reach out to me. Questions around teachable machines, questions around AI, machine learning. I'm able to carry you guys along, and all of this I could do for free. All right.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day and have a nice time. Yeah.
Okay.